Hello everyone, Coachy here another time, and this time, as you may hear, I am speaking throughout this time lapse. I'm doing this as I've received some feedback and I wanted to try out how this would work. I've posted the other time lapse, the first one. I'm working on this map, and I've had a few things I noticed, realized about it afterwards from feedback and just looking at it. First of all, it being 60 times speed in Hammer is just ass. I guess I could have concluded the same thing when I did my Substance Designer time lapses. Those ones I will not be doing anymore because it's just pointless. Like, how are you gonna learn from them? Like, they're not really that interesting as you can't really tell what's going on. Kinda is the same to mapping. At least initially I thought that doing it at this speed on mapping in Hammer would at least be more interesting since it's more visual than some bunch of designer nodes. But it's because of how I work, or at least how much I move the camera, it's kind of nauseating watching it that sort of speed. I don't know if everyone had that effect, but some people complained about it. So that's why I'm actually doing this one at 20 times speed. It won't cover as much work, but I figured, well, if someone wants to actually tell, like not tell, wants actually to identify what's going on, what I'm doing, the speed will probably have to be lowered. So I'm using 20 times. I think this is a good compromise between length and being able to tell what's going on. But yeah, I won't be able to fit as much stuff in a single video, I think, because then it would be way too long. I also do not know if I'll be speaking over throughout this whole thing because by speeding up this video here, I have, I think, 40 minutes or something like that to speak on top of. I probably do not have that much stuff to talk. So that's the first thing regarding the speed of the video. The voiceover, I thought it was cool to have as I'm already using it more on the other videos. I think it's cooler to just show up what's going on the project, the thoughts and everything like that. I've mentioned I do not want to do tutorials as those require a proper structure, I think, at least for them to be more productive. So, as I've said, I want to be most of the time just working on this map and having this YouTube thing as a side thing, as I can't really focus on both at the same time. I'm just kind of obsessive over things. I just want to work on the map and I go all in on that when I can. And if I have the videos to spend a lot of effort on, it just doesn't go as nicely, you know. So since I've started doing these voiceovers without a script, I think it's been going smoothly. Of course, I'm not the greatest at my speech yet, but I think I'm getting it done faster and more naturally. So I think it is a good compromise between the quality and being interesting for you as a viewer, and also for me to actually be able to do a lot of work still on the map. Because I think the first videos I've done weren't really that useful, because mostly the designer time lapses, because it's not really useful as an entertainment purpose, as you can't really understand what's going on, as I've said, and for learning as well, it wasn't really that great. I think the new series I'm doing of general work is kind of something that is working more decently than those other ones. That's a thing I intend to keep doing. Um, I have received a few comments on those, asking questions and like talking about the whole workflow and things. So it's a way for me to kind of teach what I'm doing, just kind of show that there's this way I'm doing without having to do a tutorial. I think it works pretty nicely. So would be kind of similar to that, but more probably more freer, or I don't know. We'll see how it will go. But I will just be having the map work in the background as I speak. And with all that said, I think I just have one more reason to be speaking over here, as due to doing this, I do not have to worry at all about music on the background. I actually do not know about this matter. I don't know if you're watching the video, you care if it has music or not. It I probably is bad if it's inconsistent, like if the video has a voiceover and then the rest is just nothing, or if the video has music and then some part just has not. I'm I don't have that much music. I don't know much about music. I was basically just using cyberpunk music on my previous videos, and my library of music is going short. So speaking over things will probably make this matter easier to me, but I'll probably at some point have to look into this topic. But well, let me know what you think about music. If you like the ones I used, if I could repeat those, or if you don't care if it's the a part of the video is just no noise or anything, or if you're hearing something that you choose while we were watching the video. I don't know, just let me know on that. But I think that's about all. Now I'm just working on the map, continuing it from the first episode. Regarding this, I don't think there is much to be said. You'll be seeing what I'm doing. Uh, Probably the perceived rate I'm working at will be different as the speed of the video is different, but also because I'm kind of, it's just how art works. Probably this, my workflow on this project is just working in more of an incremental way. I first spent a few months, or I think probably, yeah, months, 2 months, something like that, maybe more, working on the assets, the fundamental assets of the building, like the textures you've seen on the time lapses, a few of the assets like the windows, the arches, things like that. And then with those base assets, I started then doing the main structure of the house that the map is set in, and that is actually, it seems that is a lot of work being done because, well, I have the assets done, and it's kind of the main thing. I'm doing walls, I'm doing roofs, I'm doing big things on the map, but those are just the fundamentals, right? Art is incremental, at least the way I'm doing it here. So it's not just the roof. You need to do the roof and the gutters, the trims. You have to have the roof poking out on places that it has to happen. Otherwise, it will look blocky and gamey. You know, you have to have the different silhouettes. I need to do the trunks and put the transitions. There's a lot of things that comes to art that over time they get smaller and smaller, but they still probably take a lot of time and even more maybe, because the structure is, at least the one I'm doing here, what is more annoying is just the roofs, but it's a lot of walls, flat things. It it is quite quick. But then when you get to the transitions, the specific assets doing, I don't know, the trunk edges, the corners of a few parts of those buildings, that takes quite a bunch of time. Placing, making the curbs that I actually did recently, but you will not see on this video. This will come later, eventually. Those all take a lot of time, these incremental details. And if they're not there, it completely ruins the art. Of course, you can keep incrementing your map forever, but after some point, you could call your map done, because it's really hard to get to perfection. And over time, you just get diminishing returns over it. So that might explain why it might look like I'm not doing as much, because I started working more on smaller things, I think, and I just kept continuing the house and then going to do some out of bounds work. On this map specifically, I'll probably have a lot of that. I've always liked doing out of bounds. One thing I dislike, which a few maps do, is that they feel very enclosed. They are like, you have the playable level, and then all around the boundaries of this level, you just have like big buildings, walls. You don't have anything open that shows the outside world. This happens on a few maps, but some other maps do it very well, which make, when it's done well, the out of bounds, like this transition between the playable space and then what you can see after that, when it's done well, it makes it not feel like a video game level. It makes feel like you're in a real place. And on this map, this is still a big part of it, because in the reference, it's a main building in kind of the older downtown area of this town. So you have the roads, the streets, and everything around it is just buildings, the city, right? So I have to do a lot of buildings on the outside of the playable space. And I think that's what makes it livable, but it does make it a lot of work. You could say Inferno is a good example of a map that does these out of bounds well, because you have a lot of roads, streets, everything that leads to the exterior parts of the map. you see that it does kind of make some sense. It feels like it belongs in a different like it takes part in a whole city. You have these gates, these entrances, these arches that look outwards to the world, these views, right? But then this map has this kind of on another level because it's completely open in some places, and that might be a bad factor depending on how you look, because it will then require for you to block this like ground level of playable spaces with like barriers and small objects, kind of like it's done on City Spawn Overpass. On other maps like canals way back then had a lot of those like short barriers. I think it has become more common nowadays because maps have done more of this, of having like more beautiful, less gamey environments. And besides that, those barriers, I don't know, they're being used more, like the short barriers, but it also could affect gameplay in some sorts. But then there's also a matter of visibility, which we'll see after I make the map once things get more done, as there's a lot more things at the background. It's not just a flat colored wall, right? But regarding that, I think that's about it. Another thing which I did mention on another video is that Islamic is now on board on the project, and he's gonna be helping me with a few things. He already has helped me with a lot of stuff, like the helping me with the trees, and now he's done the lighting of the map. It's a placeholder lighting still, as you can't really do the final lighting when the map is not done. You have to have all the materials, the environment built for you to see which shadow angle is the best, which looks works best with what you have. And even then, once you have the lighting, you still need to probably tweak the materials a bit because uh, it, testing the materials in a specific setting will probably never be all the same than testing it in the actual map. So he helped me on the lighting because I'm not that great at that, and he'll be working on it eventually in the future, probably. He also did the flag, the Argentina flag I did on the. There's gonna be a plaza near the city spawn, that exterior part, which is just a big plaza, and you have that big flagpole of the Argentina flag. I used the existing flag model from Italy that waves on the wind, and then he just did the replace the Italy flag with an Argentinian flag, and he did a few rope things that made it more detailed. Like I had the two, I think it's pulleys. You had one on top and then one at the bottom, and then he put the ropes between those. That's all I can remember now that he did on this current state of the video. I'm usually recording these voiceovers and posting these videos quite a bit of time after I actually have done the work. So I don't know if that's ideal, but often enough I'm probably gonna be forgetting the things that I'm thinking about at the moment or what was the line of thought. So we'll see about that, but I'm usually doing it way afterwards because I'm just procrastinating it because I'm just preferring to work on the map. Oftentimes I just start working and just do not stop. Skip meals sometimes because I'm just way too focused on it. Because I just like doing this stuff when it gets to the flow. It's just quite cool and enjoyable to work at. But it also doesn't help that sometimes I just forget to record my screen because oftentimes I'm just in need to, I just need to go out and do something else or something goes in the way. So it's not a continuous work. This is like a lot of days spread around hours or different moments of the day of me just working because life goes in the way. And sometimes I just forget to record. It's kind of hard to always remember. Oh, or sometimes you press the keybind to start recording and it doesn't go, or you didn't press it correctly. But on this video, there is a small portion of it that was not recorded, which has already passed, I think, which was me doing the side building at the left, which you could see me doing mostly the roof. I think you probably didn't see me doing the walls and the windows of it. Um, Now this is doing me doing the out of bounds building that's not really close to the playable space. This one I'm pretty sure I recorded like all of it, but this thing of not recording parts of the work also will not will also happen on the next time lapse of the series, the third episode, which when I was seeking to improve my productivity, I realized I should have probably done this years ago. Is that I used to listen to music on YouTube. I've said I'm not that much of a music guy, but I usually work with music. But I just use YouTube for music, and although I use some extensions to make YouTube clearer and less distracting, it's still quite interrupting of your work on your flow state if you're listening to music on YouTube, especially because of the ads, as they seem to be getting more and more common. So because of that, not on this video, but on the next one, I'll actually have missed quite a lot of work. So you'll just see uh, kind of like, oh, I did some mining off camera and then the whole map is built, something like that. Not to the same extent, of course, but you'll be missing a bit because I installed another app for me to listen to music, an actual app. So when I started recording on the NVIDIA, I used to NVIDIA Experience to record. It actually didn't record because of I think DRM protection, so I didn't fucking record the music. So I missed quite a lot of recording and without me realizing. So I had to use OBS and now I have to use OBS onwards if I'm listening to music, which is quite often. And so that's one of the reasons I will be missing some on the next video. But on this specific video, I don't think you're missing much. Even on the recorded parts, it's really just the work itself is quite descriptive. Like you can see what I'm doing here. I don't think there's much to it. This episode specifically, it feels that not much has been done, as I've said already. But uh, so now I think I'm gonna just speak some general thoughts and experiences I've had since I started recording this series. So first of all, since I've had the intention to record what I had worked, like all the moments, whenever I'm working, I feel like I do end up making a bit more work than I used to, because when you start screen recording, it's like you're saying to yourself, "Oh, I need to work on this specific thing right now. I cannot get distracted, as it will just interrupt the flow of the video." So because of that, I have been outputting more work, I believe. It seems that way. That besides that, also having in mind the future videos and the structure of them that I'll be making helps me to keep in mind, like to just think more of what stage, what I am actually doing at the map. Makes me separate those stages. And by example, I first started doing a bunch of assets, and then I started working on the actual map. I did that because I thought beforehand that, well, if I'm gonna record and I do not have that many assets, uh, it wouldn't be as interesting the time lapse of the in-map work inside Hammer. So I spent a few uh, months making assets, and then with all of those, I could then get into a new stage, you could say, of me just working on the map. This is quite interesting because it makes you use the momentum better, I think. You don't go all the time from making assets to working on the map like back and forth. That that works still, I think. I've done it on other maps, but I've also experienced that when you're working just on assets for a bit, you do get probably some momentum there because it's the same task, right? And then once you have all of those assets, it's way easier to actually work on the map. So I'm kind of establishing with this new recording thing that I have to do, these new stages of me working. I say to myself, oh, now I'm gonna be working on a few assets. Now I'm gonna work on the map with those assets, and then I have this kind of back and forth. That's why there's there's also this delay between the videos sometimes. Some periods it's gonna be those me working on the assets, and sometimes it's just these time lapses. I'll be just doing the in-map work. But overall, I think it's a net positive. It makes me think more about what I'm doing, my next steps. Honestly, that helps a lot. Sometimes just stop and think and plan ahead, even if it's just a few minutes for you to think, oh, how am I gonna do this asset? How am I gonna approach this? What I am going to do now? Just stopping to think about this instead of just going to the next thing. Usually, I did not do that, but now I'm doing it more because of the I have to think, I have to plan because of the videos a bit, and it has been quite interesting. It's different, and it has helped me to be more efficient, I think. The other thing that comes with screen recording is that you become, I think, more self-conscious. Like, you start to realize that what I'm doing here is probably not that efficient. Like, I probably am looking like a fool while I'm doing this. And that probably helps me a lot. As I've said on other videos, I don't tend to go after things and try to learn better ways to do stuff. I do the way I do, and if it works, it works. Unless it's really bad, I don't really go after looking into new things. But now, since I'm recording my screen, I start to thinking, oh, what I'm doing here, this sounds kind of stupid, doesn't it? Like, I don't know, I don't know which task I could say right now, but let's say it's something that is just done not very efficiently. It's something done over and over where I could do it way faster in another way. I've already learned a few quite new methods because of the self-consciousness. Like, I thought to myself, oh, this specifically is not that great. Probably there is a more efficient way to do this. Because I was recording my screen, I felt that. Because I was like, oh, someone could see this, right? And they'll think I'm a loser, like I'm stupid. The extents that our minds go to, just criticize ourselves, right? But there is some truth to that, right? So because of that, I have learned that I probably at a faster pace than I would otherwise, like new methods, new things, and I'm happy with that. But yeah, you start to have a notion of how much like time is spent making mistakes on projects. Like you probably see on this time lapses me spending like a lot of time doing something that didn't look that great or didn't go right. It just happens sometimes, and this is a part that you often do not see because like you don't see people just uh, doing a time lapse of recording everything they're doing for a big project. Because this project now, if it's gonna reach a year probably soon enough, and I'll probably be still working on it, or it will be close by completion by 1 year. Like it's hard to just record 1 year of work, right? But uh, there's a lot of mistakes in this process, a lot of just periods of you doing nothing or just doing stupid stuff or that doesn't go right. But I hope that helps you to realize that maybe you also make mistakes because everyone makes mistakes. I don't know if you can get that, but I've seen other people share the stuff they're working on and it always seems so perfect, right? You probably might think, oh, this looks really good. I think it looks ass sometimes. It's that deal of us always comparing ourselves and just thinking we're never good enough. I think that's just part of it. But whenever people share the actual processes, their mistakes and things like that, it does help for you to feel that, oh, you're not alone in it, right? So it might even seem all perfect to you. I don't know what's your point of view on me working here, but there's always mistakes, like, or at least we always see more flaws in our work than other people. So I think I think that's all really for this video. Don't think I can come up with anything else. So I thank you for sticking to this far, hearing me just yap. And then now there's like 18 more minutes or something of just me doing stuff. So I hope you enjoy your time, and I'll probably have to find the music to put on the rest of the video. So stay tuned. I'll be posting new videos, working on new assets, and I also have another time lapses soon to be lined up for me to post them. So that's all. See you and have a good day. Well, here am I back again on the same video. Well, I went to look on my latest time-lapse video to see which music I used because I kind of messed up some of the files. I was putting the musics I already had used in a folder, but I think for this last time-lapse I did not do that, so I went to check which music I used, if they were not. I just went to check that. But while I done that, I saw that I had 100 subscribers, so I just came in by here to also thank you guys for the support so far. I know the videos are still very bad, but with the feedback I've been receiving, at least from some people and their thoughts, it's been making me more motivated to keep working on this. Because I remember it's at each video I posted. As soon as I posted it, I felt like, bro, I wanna kill myself. This is so ass. Like, because some people instantly pointed out, this is stupid. This is like, and I clearly were stupid things like that. I also kinda noticed, but I didn't care. I don't know. Okay, I'm now just yapping at this point, but basically, I'm thankful for the support, and the video should be getting better over time. That's all. And yeah, in the end of the video, you'll be seeing me running around the map like I did last time. See ya.